Good evening, Erev Tov. We're going to now discuss the times of the eve of Pesach, when exactly what starts and why. So again, the eve of Pesach this year is March 30th. It's a Friday. It's kind of like Erev Shabbat, but it's a little different, obviously, that we're stopping the Chametz. So, according to the Torah law, and we'll explain how we learn this, every single holiday, better yet, every day starts from the night. There's a doubt, does it start from sundown or stars out? But that is when the day starts. The day starts from the night, as we know from the creation of the world. Vahi erev, vahi boker, yom, ehad, yom sheni, and each and every one of the days. So the day starts from the night, and that's why Shabbat starts every week, Friday night. And the holidays, so too starts the previous night, the night leading up to the day, because that's when the day actually starts from a halachic standpoint. Of course, our calendars, our watches, our phones all start at midnight the next day, but according to the Torah, according to our halachic ramifications, it starts from the end of the day. Well, again, it's a doubt between sundown and stars out. So we are stringent in the matter. When we start Shabbat by sundown. When do we stop Shabbat? We stop Shabbat by stars out. So, for argument's sake, there's anywhere between half an hour to an hour extra range over there. Okay. So when should Pesach start? Or when does it actually start? Again, this year it's going to be Friday by sundown. When do we stop eating Chametz? According to the Torah, the Talmud learns, Chametz has to be stopped eating from midday. Rabbi, why is it different? When does Pesach start? If Pesach starts at the night, let me eat Chametz all the way 5, 6 in the afternoon. If Pesach starts in the middle of the day, okay, let's light candles and let's party. What are we waiting till the night for? So, the Talmud learns a very specific halakha. The Torah tells us that the slaughtering of the Pesach sacrifice that was done and that was roasted and then eaten by the Seder night, its zman, its time, started already from midday on the 14th of Nisan, meaning the eve of Nisan, which would be again this year on the Friday. The Talmud learns, since you're already allowed, and you obviously need to start doing your Pesach sacrifice and its preparation, and the Pesach sacrifice has to be eaten with matzah and no chametz, so then, according to the Torah law, already from midday on the eve of Pesach is when Chametz has to be stopped, consumed, owned, and benefited from. All three of those. That's midday. How do we know when midday is? Well, we take Amud HaShachar, we take dawn, and we take stars out, and we find the middle of that. So the middle of that this year in South Florida is 1:25 p.m. 1:25 is the middle of the day. I'll tell you a trick, a little secret. Whatever time the middle of the day is the exact same as the middle of the night. It's 1:25 is Hatzot Laila, and it's also Hatzot Hayom, according to halachic calculations, right? Because if you have here and here, it's going to be both in the center on the clock, 1:25 in the day, 1:25 in the night, even though sunrise and sunset are not exactly in the middle. Anyways, if you got that good, if not, we'll draw it out for you one time. The Chachamim came along and they said, even though from the Torah, midday is the cutoff point, since we're dealing with something very stringent, Chametz on Pesach is karet, it's a very stringent prohibition, very important one, they said two things, they made two safeguards. They said, firstly, when it comes to the consumption of Chametz, we're going to roll it back 2 hours. Meaning we're not going to let you have Chametz eating until the middle of the day, which is the end of the 6th hour. We're going to roll it back 2 hours and say, no, at the end of the 4th hour is the end of eating Chametz. So that would make here in South Florida, 10:57, the last time where you can eat your Chametz. They made another safeguard. They said that's by eating. By ownership and benefit, we'll only roll it back 1 hour. So that would make it to the end of the 5th hour. And here again in South Florida this year, it's going to be 12:11. 12 o'clock and 11 minutes in the middle of the day. So that's where the times come up. So when you look at a schedule and you say, okay, this is the last time to eat Chametz, and this is the last time to burn your Chametz, but midday is after that. Now I understand why. Because according to the Torah, it's all midday, But Chachamim came along already in the time of the Talmud, a long time ago, and they said, since we're dealing with such a very specific and a very important halacha, let's make a safeguard and let's give us a little bit of a buffer zone. Just in case we make a mistake, at least we're not going against the Torah prohibition. So again, rolling back 2 hours for consumption and only 1 hour for benefit and ownership. Meaning, the last time to burn our Chametz is by the end of the 5th hour, which would be 12:11. That's for all intents and purposes and practical halacha, so we understand the times for this year, Be'ezrat Hashem. Tomorrow morning, Shacharit is going to be starting at 5